Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Ielts Listening Acuity. This is me, 𝗁𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻, joining you from 𝐁𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻 Academy. Yes, 𝐁𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐻 Academy has come with yet another Ielts Listening Live to help you with your listening. And how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing good. It's almost weekend, not almost weekend, it is weekend. And I'm sure you're all in a mood to take rest and have fun and things like that. But when we're preparing for something important, when we're preparing for an exam, we don't really have holidays. I mean, it's not that you shouldn't have fun or you shouldn't take rest, but it's more like you shouldn't be completely staying away from what you have been doing all these days of all these weekdays. Okay, you should be doing something related to your exam. You should be doing at least 5 minutes, one section you should do in the weekend, or at least you should do at least one question for writing and one question for speaking. You should do something related to it. Or on a Saturday you do your listening and your reading, and Sunday you practice your writing and speaking just a little bit, just that you don't lose the touch. And when you come back on Monday, you're super energetic and you're still able to learn from where you stopped. Otherwise you'll go a bit backward, and then you'll have to come to where you used to be, and then you have to start again. That's like a waste of energy. A lot of energy is being wasted that way. And coming back to our Ielts listening, like I always say, it is one of the easiest modules. There is nothing in that to learn, but there are a few things that you need to be careful about. If you already know those things, then things are going to be very smooth. And I've even told you, if you are a student who is regularly getting 36, 37, 38, then you can reduce your practice to alternate days, what I mean is you can actually use the other days to practice your the alternate days to practice your writing and speaking more, or maybe you're reading more, depending on which module is really tough for you. So listening, what I'm trying to say is listening is a very comfortable module. All that you need is this systematic approach towards it, and there are a few things that you need to be careful about. One is your reading speed and your attention and focus when you're reading questions during the few seconds that are given to you before each section. So you're given 30 seconds to check your answers after your section 1, and then given 30 seconds to read the questions of section 2. So I've always told you, don't use this 30 seconds time given you to check your answers, to check the answers actually, because you are given 10 minutes at the end to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. During that time, you're actually checking your answers and you're getting time to go through it. And 10 minutes is more than enough for you to transfer your answers from the question paper to the answer sheet. So you can do that during that 10 minutes time. So this 30 seconds time that is given to you to read the questions, and this 30 seconds time that's given to you to check your answers, can be used to read the questions. That means you're going to get 1 minute to read the questions of section 2, and section 2 is also not very difficult for many students because they're still able to manage it without the extra 30 seconds. 30 seconds would be enough for you to read the questions, because they're asking you to read part by part, or the questions are simple and easy, so it's actually manageable. But when it comes to section 3 and section 4, students always complain that they've always had difficulty finish reading the questions, and that has affected their score or understanding what is said in the audio. So what you have to do is the same method has to be applied. Section 2, you're given 30 seconds to check the answers of section 2, and you have to use that 30 seconds plus the 30 seconds given for you to read the questions of section 3 to read the questions. Okay, so you are getting 1 minute to read the questions of section 3, and you have to read the questions carefully. Always make sure you underline the keywords. And now, what are the keywords? Keywords are the words that convey the main meaning of the sentence, maybe the verbs, nouns, adjectives. You have to underline those words. You have to avoid the function words, so that While the audio is being played, when you look at the questions, you understand what that question is all about and what it means and what it's asking you. You will not have to read the whole sentence. That saves time that way, and you'll be able to concentrate in a better way. But another thing, another problem that I've noticed with people is that it's not that they don't understand English, or sometimes some students, very few students have this problem. It's not that they don't understand English, it's not that they don't read the questions carefully. It's just that by the time they reach part like section 4, they completely lose their focus and concentration and attention. They're not able to actually listen to it. They're hearing some noises but or some voice, but they are not actually able to process it in their head. This happens because you don't have proper concentration and focus, or you don't have focus or concentration because you don't practice well. So what kind of practice should you be doing for this? This kind of problems arise for students who have this attitude, or who have this habit, not attitude, habit of when they have this habit that when they are sitting for a practice, for example, they've decided that they'll be practicing IELTS listening, and when they practice their IELTS listening, what they do is they'll be home, and after they do section 1, they'll take a break. Okay, they'll go drink a coffee or tea, or talk to their parents or family or friends, or look at the phone, and then they come back. Or in between section 2 or section 1, they'll be taking a break because they feel like they have to answer the door, or they need to go to the kitchen to look for what's in the microwave. So many things, and they get distracted. This is how they practice one IELTS listening. So they would be saying, okay, I practiced for 1 hour or maybe 2 hours, but did you practice with utmost attention and focus? That is very important. And how do you create this focus? I always tell this to my students. If you are sitting to study, if you are sitting to practice, make sure you sit in a closed room, you keep your phone aside, and you concentrate and you focus on what you're doing. For example, if you're doing IELTS listening, take a strong decision that I won't get up from my chair till I'm done with all the 40 questions in it. I'll sit and do section after section, no matter what call comes on my phone or what happens around me. I will be sitting here and doing it in one stretch, okay? So that has to be there with you, and then that will help you improve your concentration. And I think I've told you once in one of the lives that when you were practicing your IELTS listening, for IELTS listening, it is good when you're learning, when you're in the process of learning. It's okay if you are making, for example, you did question number 1, 2, and 3, you got it. It was easy, so you wrote the answer. But when it came to question number 4, what happened was that you didn't hear what was said. Either you lost your concentration, or you did not understand the part that was said there. So what will you do? One thing that people do is they ignore that, they write something, or they write the wrong answer or something, they move on, and they move to the 5th question, 6th question. Yes, that's how you have to do in your exam. When you are sitting for an exam, if you did not get a word or a sentence or a part, and if it's question 4, you did not get question 4, just move on to question 5. Don't get stuck. It's very good when you go to the examination hall. You can do it. But when you practice, I would say you have to listen to that part again and again and understand what was said and try to find the right answer for it and write it there and put a mark. That mark indicates that you have listened to that answer again and again. So that shouldn't be counted when you take the total score. This goes a long way, because what happens is if you are going to look back at your mistakes at the end after completing all the 40 questions in a stretch, what will happen? Yes, definitely you're doing it in a stretch, but after completing all the 40 questions, if you are deciding to go back to the part 1 or section 1 or question number 4, that may not even work. You know what I'm trying to say? That may not work because you will forget where you actually made mistakes, and it's not actually possible for you to go back to that particular second and listen to that part again and again. You will have lost that interest in it. Not interest, you've lost the connection with it. By the time you reach 40th question, you've lost connection with 4th question, so you wouldn't understand it without hearing the first, second and third question. So it is going to be difficult for you, and it would be really hard for you to spot where that is, and those things are going to be difficult. So you may even ignore, or you may avoid checking your answers like that. Checking your answers like that and making required corrections is the key part. Okay, that is the important thing you have to do. It's not like you're sitting and listening and doing and writing in the answers and moving back to the next one, counting the scores and moving on to the next material. It's not going to work like that. So you have to invest time like this while you're practicing, and in between sometimes you can practice like you would do like a mock test you can do, and to check your progress. And there you don't have to just go back and do it. You can do that after you complete the whole test. You can just go through the answers that you got wrong and check it. So when you're sitting and doing it for like 40 minutes or 1 hour, you're improving your focus and attention. Another way you can improve it, like the script writing that I've mentioned. If you're really weak in your English, and if you're really weak in doing these kind of things like sitting and focusing and concentrating, you can go for script writing. Also, script writing helps you a lot. Script writing is nothing but, for example, if you're doing section 3, you can go to the same video on 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬's page, and if it is on YouTube, you can go to 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐬 Academy page. You'll be able to find IELTS listening acuity and the materials we've shown. So one part you'll be able to see. So there, section 3 you're taking, you're playing some part of it, you're pausing it, you're writing down what you heard. For example, it would be like Neolithic age was started between 4000 and 6000 BC, and England was a powerful country at that point, and they transported goods. So these were the 3 sentences that you heard, and if you can read in 3 sentences, well and good, copy them down, write it down. But if you're only able to read in 1 sentence, you hear that 1 sentence and write that one. Pause the video and write it. That way you're making a script for the whole audio. And this will improve your concentration and focus in a long way, in the best way possible. And also, this will give you a better understanding of the language and accent, everything. You'll be able to understand the language way better that you can imagine. So you can also watch English contents and do script writing for that as well. But I would say it would be way better if you can do it with the materials that you're practicing. And every day, if in your class you're practicing a material, make sure you try that material at home, because your trainer must have given you all the instructions about it, might have given you all the corrections, everything. So after listening to all that, how are you able to do it? So what improvement have you had? You should check that as well. So that way you should be able to do your listening very well. So now you know the drill, how we do the IELTS listening acuity or our IELTS listening live. We play the audio and you will be able to see the questions on the screen. At that time you can copy down the questions. I mean, you can write down the answers, not copy down the questions. You can write down the answers for it on a piece of paper. And after that, we will be discussing the answers with the help of audio script. Okay, and in the audio script, what I've done is, that is the script writing. That script, audio script means that script writing. When you're writing the script, right? The same script is given here. So if you are doing a script writing with this material, what can happen is you also get a script that is already written, so you can make the necessary corrections. And if you're missing some words or something, you can look at that. So you write the answers, we discuss it with the help of audio script. And what is the advantage of listening with the audio, discussing the answers with the audio script? You will be able to see what was said in the audio. You'll get a complete understanding about what was said in the audio, and the answers will be clear to you. and you have one-word answers and all, so you have to make sure the spelling is correct. If you're making one spelling mistake, your answer will be considered as wrong, even though it's a minor mistake. Okay, so after we'll be and also in this script I've actually given the written meaning of all the difficult words, so you'll be able to see the written meaning of all the difficult words there. So I'm sure it's going to be very useful. So now, without wasting much time, let's go to the audio. The audio will be played now and the questions will be displayed on the screen.
Section 3. You will hear two students, Jack and Lucy, discussing a marketing assignment they are working on together. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Lucy, we really need to get working on this marketing assignment. We've only got 5 weeks left to the end of term to design it, carry it out, and then write up the results.
Sure. Well, let's get started right now. Let's go over the instructions. What exactly do we have to do?
Well, it says here we have to look at one area of the entertainment industry. There's a list of the different types.
What are they?
Music, cinema, theatre, sport, and eating out.
Is that all?
Looks like it.
So we choose one branch of the industry and then we look at how two different groups of people use it. Is that right?
Yes.
And do we have to use any particular method to get our data? Can we mail out a questionnaire or do face-to-face interviews or maybe even observations?
Well, actually, it looks like we don't have a choice. We have to do telephone interviews.
OK, so at least we don't have to waste time deciding between the different methods.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and the other requirement is the number of interviewees.
Not too many, I hope. 10? 20?
Well, we have to do 2 groups, remember, and it looks like we have to interview 15 for each group.
That's 30 altogether then. It's going to take ages.
Yes, but remember we're working on this together, so we'll only have to do 15 each.
OK, so those are all the requirements?
Yes, looks like it.
So, first, which area are we going to choose? My preference would be cinema, since that's where I spend most of my money.
I don't think that's such a good idea. I don't think there are huge differences in the market there. I mean, you get young and old, male and female, rich and poor, all going to the same movies.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's make it music then.
Right. So, what 2 groups will we compare and contrast?
Male and female?
No. Most of my female friends like the same music as me. Different age groups will be much more likely to show up differences, I think.
Before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Yeah, I suppose you're right again. I'll take some notes, shall I? So, age groups. Well, what do you think? Maybe 25 or under for one group and 45 or over for the other group? That should show up differences.
Right.
OK, next. How about the kind of music they like? Let's give them some choices and then we can just tick boxes.
OK, let's have pop, jazz, folk, easy listening. What else?
Well, we should include classical. Some people like it, you know.
OK, and then we should have how they listen to music.
The medium. Right, let's include radio, CD, and then I guess there's TV.
What about concerts? You know, in pubs and halls.
Oh yeah, we should include live music, of course.
OK, we're on a roll now. Next point could be about where they actually get their music.
You mean, like, do they buy it in music shops or department stores?
Yes, or download it from the internet.
Right. That could be for recorded music. Then we need another section for live music. Where do they go for that?
OK, let's say disco, pub, club, concert hall.
Or opera house? And I guess we should include karaoke bars.
Not many of them in this city.
OK, we'll leave that out then. So what's left to do?
That's it. Well, now we can make a timescale for doing it.
The questions? It was section 3, but I don't think it was a very difficult section 3. I'm sure you were able to manage it somehow. All right. Okay. So let's discuss. Look at it. Questions. I hope you're able to see the slide. Now we'll discuss the answers. So before we discuss the answers, if you want, you can take a screenshot of the questions, or you can copy them down. I can give you a few minutes for that. Section 3, questions 21 to 30. First write questions 21 to 24. Complete these sentences below. Now next sentence, write no more than 3 words and or a number for each answer. Marketing assignment, heading marketing assignment. 21. For their assignment, the students must investigate one part of the dash. 22. The method the students must use to collect data is dash. 23. In total, the students must interview dash people. 24. Jack thinks the music preferences of dash listeners are similar. Next one. Questions 25 to 30. Complete the notes below. Write no more than 2 words for each answer. Marketing survey. Music preferences. Age group of interviewee. 20 below that, right? 25 or under. Below that, right? Next bullet point. 45 or over. Next heading. Music preferences. First bullet point, right? Pop. Second bullet point, right? 25 and blank. Next bullet point, folk. Next one, easy listening. Next one, 26 and blank. Next heading, right? Medium for listening to music. First one, radio. Second one, CD. Third one, TV. Fourth one, 27 and blank. Source of music. First bullet point, music shops. Next one, 28 and blank. Third one, internet. Next heading, places for listening to music. Disco. Next bullet point, pub. Next bullet point, 29 and blank. Next one, concert hall. Next one, 30 and blank. So when you read these questions, you should have an idea about what answers would come here already. Alright, then when you listen, it's going to be easy for you to connect. Now let's discuss the answers. Look at this. So what you can see here is the first question. But always, if told you have to look at the instructions before you read the questions. Always read instructions, especially for your reading and listening. IELTS reading and listening, it's very important because no more than 3 words and or a number. I've explained this multiple times, but I'm telling this again for those of you who were new and have no idea about this. So here, when they say no more than 3 words and or a number, that means you can write 1. Okay, 1 word. This is 1 word, right? Then you can write 2 words. Then you can write 3 words. 1, 2, 3. 3 words. Consider these are words. Okay? Or I'll give you a better example. One word like apple. You can write apple. Then and or a number. That means and a number, 50. A number, but 50 is considered as a number, not the digits they're talking about, the number. We've discussed this earlier, so I'm not going into the details. If you still have confusions, you can go to our previous lives where I have explained this in very much detail. So I think even this explanation would be enough to understand it. You'll still be able to understand it. Then 2 words, apple, orange. Okay, 2 words, apple, orange, 2 words. Or you can write sweet apple and or a number, and a number. Okay, sweet, sour apple, 1 lakh. See, I'm just showing these exaggerated numbers because you understand it. So you can write 3 words and a number. You can write 2 words and a number, 1 word and a number, or a number. You can write a number alone, 5, number alone. Or you can write dates. So when it comes to dates, like April 5, write a word and a number. Is it clear? But you cannot write 4 words. For example, sweet, sour, simple apple. No, 4 words and a number, that will be wrong. Is it clear? Yes. If you have any questions related to this, always please feel free to ask it. Okay. So now we'll look at the question. Marketing assignment. Question number 21. For their assignment, the students must investigate one part of the. So what are the keywords? For their assignments, students must investigate one part of the. Let's read. Now turn to section 3. Section 3, you will hear two students, Jack and Lucy, discussing marketing assignment they're working on together. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24. Jack: Lucy, we really need to get working on this marketing assignment. We've only got 5 weeks left at the end of term to design it. Carry it out and then write up the results. Lucy: Sure. Well, let's get started right now. Let's go over the instructions. What exactly do we have to do? Jack: Well, it says here we have to look at one area of. So in the question they're saying one part of. They're using a synonym, one area of entertainment industry. So for assignment, students must investigate one part of entertainment industry. So what is the answer? Entertainment industry. 21, the answer is entertainment industry. For those of you who have written it, your answer is correct. Now question number 22. The method the students must use to collect data is. Method students must use to collect data is. Okay. There's a list of different types: music, cinema, theater, sport, and eating out. Is that all? Jack: Looks like it. Lucy: So we can choose one branch of the industry and then we look at how 2 different groups of people use it. Is that right? Jack: Yes. And Lucy: And do we have to use any particular method to get our data? Can we mail out a questionnaire or do face-to-face interviews or maybe even observations? Well, actually it looks like we don't have a choice. That means they must. That is a synonym of must. Okay, we have to do telephone interviews. All right, look at it. The method they must use to collect data is what? Telephone interviews. 23. In total, the students must interview dash people. In total, students must interview dash people. Let's see. Lucy: Okay, so at least we don't have to waste time deciding between different methods. Jack: Yeah, that's right. Oh, and the other requirement is the number of interviewees. Lucy: Not too many, I hope. 10, 20? Jack: Well, we have to do 2 groups, remember, and it looks like we have to interview 15 for each group. So that means they have to interview total how much? 30. So Lucy is saying that's 30 altogether. Yes. Then it's going to take ages. Jack: Yes, but remember we're working on this together. So we'll only have to do 15 each. Lucy: Okay, so those are all the requirements. Jack: Yes, looks like it. So they're going to do the interview on how many people? 30 people. All right, so 30 is the correct answer. Next one, question number 24. Jack thinks the music preferences of dash listeners are similar. Okay, let's look at it. Jack thinks music preferences of dash listeners are similar. Lucy: So first, which area are we going to choose? My preference would be cinema since that's where I spend most of my money. Jack: I don't think that's such a good idea. I don't think there are huge differences in market there. I mean, you get young and old, male and female, rich and poor, all going to the same movies. Lucy: Yeah, maybe you're right. Let's make it music then. Jack: Right. So what 2 groups will we compare and contrast? Lucy, male and female. Jack, no, most of the male friends, my female friends like the same music as me. Different age groups might be much more likely to show up differences, I think. So, question number 24. Jack thinks the music preferences of male and female listeners are similar. Okay. So, first one is entertainment industry, telephone interviews. Then 30, and fourth one is male and female. Now, before you hear the rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now, listen and answer questions 25 to 30. So, look at questions 25 to 30. There also, they've given us some instructions. What are the instructions? Write no more than 2 words. Okay, write no more than 2 words. What are those? So that means you cannot write number here. Earlier we were told we could write number, so we wrote. What happened? See, look at 21, entertainment industry, 2 words, and or a number. It's not compulsory, we have to write a number. 22nd, the method students must, those are telephone interviews, no number, 2 words, right, criteria met. In total, the students must interview 30 people. So 30. Number alone is also fine. Jack thinks the music preferences of male and female. 3 words. Okay. That's also good. So here, what have they said? No more than 2 words. So that means you can write music. Okay, 1 word. Or you can write music preferences, 2 words. If you write more than 2 words, even a music practice, this will be considered as a word and this whole thing will be wrong. Okay, so always look at the word count. Okay, so that is clear. Now I'm moving on to market survey, music preferences. Okay, age group of interviewee, 25 or under. Next one they've said is 45 or under. Music preferences, pop. So here, when such questions are given, you always have to look at it this way. You have to listen carefully to it. Pop and whatever here, that order, in the same order they'll be giving you the answer. So you should listen to it and write the answer really quick. Okay, pop music preferences, pop dash folk, easy listening, 26. Okay, let's see. So now listen and answer question 25 to 30. So we're looking for music preferences. Lucy, yes, suppose you're right again. I'll take some notes, shall I? So age groups. Well, what do you think? Maybe 25 or under for one group and 35 or over for the other group? That should show up differences. So that part we already saw in the question. That information is already given in the question. Jack, right. Okay, next. How about the kind of music they like? That is preferences. How about the kind of music they like? That's music preferences. Let's give them some choices and then we can just tick boxes. Jack, okay, let's have pop, jazz. What's coming after pop? Jazz. It's very simple, right? Direct answer. I think it should be given to little children in 5th grade or 6th grade. That kind of question. Pop, jazz. Jazz spelling and all must be correct. That is the problem. Folk, easy listening. What else? So next, easy listening, and they're asking, what else? Lucy, well, we should include classical. Classical pronunciation might have been a little difficult, but listen to that part once again. So jazz and classical. Let's look at next group of questions. Jazz, one is and so classical, jazz and it's classical. Here, jazz spelling, if you're writing it with the S and all, that answer will be wrong. And for classical also, if there is no if it's supposed to have two S, but if you don't have it, if you don't put it, then that also would be wrong. Now, medium for listening to music: radio, CD, TV, and what else? Medium for listening to music. Okay, let's see. Okay, and then we should have how they listen. That refers to medium. Okay. The medium, right? Let's include CD, and then I guess TV. There's what about concerts, in pubs and halls? Oh yeah, we should include live music, of course. So concerts is the next answer, right? Concerts. Okay, live music, right? But the major answer, the word that they're using is concert, so you should write concerts. Concerts. Source of music: music shops, dash 28 blank, and internet. Let's see. Okay, so we're on a roll now. Next point could be about where they actually get their music. Lucy, you mean do they buy it in a music shops or department stores? Department stores. So look at it. Source of music: music shops, department stores. So write department stores. Department stores. Then internet. Places for listening to music: disco, pub, dash, concert hall, and dash. These are all one word answers. Okay. Lucy, yes, also downloaded from the internet. So downloaded from the internet. Lucy, right. That could be for the recorded music. Then we need another section for live music. Where do they go for that? Okay, let's say disco, pub, and club. Concert hall, Lucy, or opera house. So 29 is club and 30 is opera house. And I guess we should include karaoke bars. Karaoke bars are bar, a restaurant, or club, or lounge. Is a bar or restaurant that provides karaoke equipment so that people can sing publicly. They provide the instrument, people can sing publicly, sometimes on a small stage. Most of these establishments allow patrons to sing for free, with the expectation that sufficient revenue will be made selling food and drink to singers. Jack, not many of them in the city. Lucy, okay, we'll leave that out then. So what's left to do? Jack, that's it. Well, now we can make a time scale for doing it. And this is the end of section 3. So here, looking at the word count, the instructions, whether you can write number and words, that word count, that part is important. And also listening to the audio carefully. Focus and attention is important. When they say jazz, after that what they're saying, you should be looking for it. Okay? Other than that, it is very simple. I'll show you the answers now. Entertainment industry, 21. 22nd, telephone interviews. 23, you can write 30 in number or this way. 24, male and female. 25, jazz. 26, classical. 27, concerts. 28, department stores. 29, club. 30, opera house. Opera house and all spelling you should learn. Okay. I hope it's clear and you got a complete idea about this. If you have any, I'm sure like you should try to get 10 out of 10 for this. Alright, it was that simple. If you didn't, you should understand what is causing you the problem. Is there anything that's troubling you? If there is and you have no idea how to deal with it or handle it, let us know in the comments. We will definitely be helping you with that. So we will be coming with yet another IELTS listening live on next Saturday at 10 a.m. Until then, stay tuned. Bye-bye. Take care. Have a beautiful day ahead and a week.